go. Okay, I think I'm live. I'm on the laptop using the phone for internet. No, I'm using the tablet for internet. Whatever. I don't usually try a fourth time, but I'm aggravated this morning. I'm really freaking aggravated. I've got a headache from dry sinuses, and we're in the middle of a heat wave. The cats are being good. I wonder what they're planning. Hi, Witta. Glad you found me. This is just getting ridiculous. Coffee, tea, water, and Alka-Seltzer, and a cigarette. But apparently this connection might be okay. We'll see. The minute I started talking about watching the news, YouTube said my connection was unstable. Don't know whether it's YouTube or Verizon or maybe both of them. Good morning, Howard. I saw that there were a lot of people chatting. After I ended the third stream, YouTube didn't end it, so I couldn't come back on. I couldn't start a new video because YouTube insisted I was still live. Cowabunga. Or as Lucy Van Pelt says in the Peanuts cartoons, I'll pound you, computer. I'll pound this computer. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we in this small community are not hit by a lot of violent crime. Most of the arrests happen when usually young people, but not always, try to avoid a traffic ticket by running from the police, well, driving away. Better to get a traffic ticket than to get hauled off to jail for fleeing. And there's a few drunks, and we know who they are. Most of them have the sense not to drive. Most of them, when they're drunk. Oh, wow. What a morning. And then while I was trying to solve the YouTube problems, I got a phone call from a doctor's office wanting me to set up an appointment for an endoscopy. I just couldn't deal with that on top of everything else. I have a hiatal hernia, a bad one. It's where the esophagus meets the top of the stomach. And apparently, my stomach likes to poke up into my diaphragm. You know, that muscle that moves your lungs so you can breathe. It was diagnosed 4 years ago, but nobody told me till now. I need to know that. If I get certain symptoms, I have to go to the emergency room because if it strangulates, it could be deadly. Fortunately, although for other reasons, I have been doing the things you need to do when you have a hiatal hernia. Number one is do not sleep lying flat on your back. Well, I was sleeping elevated anyway because it was more comfortable for me. Hi, at Sequentia in the chat room. You see, you can sleep lying on your side or your belly, but I don't sleep on my belly. Uh, and if I sleep on my side, I'll wake up on my back. So I use a recliner chair because I'm not going to pop out the bucks for a hospital bed. Sometimes I sleep on the recliner chair when I was just sitting down for a minute. Whoops. So my sleep wake schedule is completely off. I was a night owl. Now I fall asleep between 8 and 9 and wake up between 3 and 4, or maybe I sleep as long as 5 in the morning. It's horrid. And I cannot eat a full meal all at once. I should not. I should start feeling full really fast. Oh, they want to decide whether to do surgery for my hiatal hernia. What they do now is stick the thing down your throat while you're asleep and do it without making an incision. But I don't know. I do not know whether that what is something I want to do. Um, most of my life, well, as long as I can remember, I could not eat a full meal all at once. I was the kid sitting at the dinner table while the others were watching TV because they finished their meals. And mom thought it was more fun to punish me or tease me than it was to take me to a doctor and find out why I couldn't eat. I usually plowed through the potatoes and the vegetables, but the meat, I couldn't do that. I couldn't eat much meat. And even now, um, I have trouble. I love bacon, but I can't eat a lot of it all at once. I like eggs, but again, I'll make one or two slices of bacon and one egg, and I can't finish it. Hi, Jason, in the chat room. I'm glad you are as persistent as I am. You're all coming back. Good. So, anyway, I have a hiatal hernia and other problems. And of course, my back is healing. My kidneys are passing stones. Alka Seltzer. Liquid aspirin, basically. I wait for the bubbles to all pop because I'm not supposed to drink fizzy things. I have enough flatulence to power the house. the heater and the stove, and that's a bad sign. Anyway, so here I was just looking forward to a Labor Day weekend, local yard sales. Never went to a single yard sale. I just sat at home. I did walk around the corner to the convenience store at the gas station and buy some cigarettes, but it nearly killed me. Kidney stones are more painful than a broken back. And they really make it difficult for me to walk. And my back isn't happy either. My spine, but it's healing. I still walk a little funny. I'm trying to get back to a normal gait. It's been 2 years since I broke my hip, so it should be fine. It's just a habit now to walk funny. And walking funny isn't good for your back or your hips. And it wasn't the hip that broke. The joint stayed together, and the femur, the big heavy leg bone between your knee and your hip, is what broke. So it was really a broken leg. Not nearly as serious as it could have been. Nothing moved around. They didn't have to go in and put things back together. They just shoved in 2 titanium pins to hold it together while it healed. And as long as I don't have problems, I can leave those pins in. But every time I go to an airport, I'll have to tell them, I have 2 titanium pins in my leg. I'm going to set off your metal detector. Well, let's see. Let's adjust the screen so the camera's looking at me a little better. I kind of like this angle. Maybe I'll put the desktop computer over here. We'll see. I'll have to get someone to help. I can't move furniture. I'm not allowed to. So anyway, we're in a 95-degree everyday heat wave. It's been a week and we've got another week to go. It's supposed to be cooler in September. We usually get rain, and we did get some, but just a few squalls, maybe a whole inch in total over 2 days, mostly on the second day. And Dora, my kitty cat, came running in, all wet, but then as time went on, she decided, oh, I like to run around in the rain. Cats are weird. And then there were these political speeches. What can I say without the YouTube algorithm getting me? All these other YouTube channels are showing clips and talking about the speeches. You know, Fox and Next News Network and, even Huckabee and CNN and PMSNBC. But if I talk about it, I might get dinged. You know, it's one thing to make verbal attacks on a politician. They all call each other names. They want your vote. They want your support. They want your money. It's quite another to call out half the people of this country. I want to ask you, who burned down buildings? Who looted shops? Who attacked strangers on the street, killing some of them? Who threw rocks and Molotov cocktails at law enforcement? Well, at Sequentia, back pain when you wake up is a sign that a problem is developing. I'm going to move a couple things here. I've been rearranging my clutter, and I'm tired of telling people my things belong where I put them, not where you want them. I like my clutter. Okay, where is it? Okay, I got. Thanks to some very generous online friends, I have D3 and glucosamine, chondroitin, turmeric, and MSM all in one pill. And B complex, super B complex from Nature's Bounty. I'm still having trouble. The only Centrum Silver I can find is either for men or it's chewables for adults over 50. I hate chewables. I did have some gummies, but they were one a day. I did find that I could. Who's calling me? Come on, you evil phone. It wouldn't let me refuse the call. I had to pick up and then push the red button. You evil thing. Evil phone. So, anyway, where was I? I found I could swallow a gummy with water. Now I finally got one a day women's 50 plus tablets, but I'd rather have Centrum Silver, but not if it's a chewable. Oh, calling about my car warranty? Could be. Or you might have Medicare benefits that you don't know about. Let's see. Yes, at Sequentia, I try to come on every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Once in a while, I'll do a special if something is urgent. Hi, John Smith. I'm doing okay. I have a new phone, somewhere between $25 and $30 a month for what will feel like the rest of my life, 3 years. It's a Motorola. I got tired of Samsung. But it keeps telling me that it doesn't do certain things until I set them up. And since my old phone is a brick, I have to find workarounds for things that require you to use your old phone to transfer things. Fortunately, all the data from my old phone transferred over. It's saved, I guess it's saved in the cloud or something. Uh, so there I am, stuck at home because I'm not even up to going to yard sales. And there was one 2 doors down from me. So I'm sitting at home watching all these clips on YouTube, and inevitably they turn to politics. Now, I'm not a Trumper, never have been. But my God, in 2016, I held my nose and voted for him because I can't stand Hillary. In 2016, one candidate said, I, me, my. And the other candidate said, you, we, us. Guess which one won the election? And guess who started fussing? Oh, the election was rigged. I really won. He didn't win. I did. This is so unfair. There was election fraud. Oh, that might get me dinged. And in 2020, once again, the guy who lost charged that the election was unfair, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is, and we're stuck with it. What, Tora? Are you squeaking at me? Well, come here and say hi to your adoring fans. Where'd you go?
Come here.
There. See the kitty in the computer? See that? Oh, you're such a big girl. Oh, you're so heavy. Oh, you're such a good girl. Yes, I'm almost out of treats. These cats are hogs. Okay. A treat for the kitty. There's only 3 left. I'll give you one. There, here. Oh, I'm a lot further. There were 4. Now there's 3 clips. I don't generally watch the news, and my connection became unstable. I watch Chris Burrows. The cat does not offer services. The cat offers itself. And then John Smith says that's why I love cats. As I paw through my books, which are a jumbled up mess thanks to a helpful friend, I'm trying to pull out the ones about cats and dogs, mostly cats. For example, somewhere in this mess, I have a book of poems written by cats. Somewhere, I have a whole bunch of books about cats, and they were all together on the same shelf before I broke my head. I don't sort books by size, shape, and color. I sort them by what they're about, or who wrote them, or whether they're books that I wrote or books including articles and stories that I wrote. Like PKD Otaku and, what's the other one? Criminy. It's Emanations. They don't pay, but they publish my stuff and send me a free copy of the book. I can't get into chat. Here we go. There we go. Thanks, Etsy Quintia. But when the Democrats chose Biden to run, I was really, really wary. Obama, said that Biden F's things up. So here we are with gas almost $6 a gallon up here on the mountain. And they're doing everything they can to lower the prices. The really crazy thing is that when prices go up, the taxes go up with them. Where did I put that? Everybody pays taxes. Don't kid yourself. When they tax corporations, you pay a higher price to cover the tax they have to pay. Sales taxes go up with prices. At least in California, most food is not taxable. But if it's served to you at a restaurant, or if you buy it at a deli and it's cooked, it's taxable. So, like, I can get some roast chicken at the deli, it's taxable. I don't know how they keep track of all that, but they do. Crazy. I think soda pop is taxable. I know it has a CRT, Cal adds 10 cents to every, in the recycle. Stable for a moment. Relentless growth as a political end of. Although one might argue that when Alaric took over, that was a conquest. Roman legion is legion, and marched on Rome and took the throne. Oh, come on. Come on. You evil machine. It keeps going. Your connection is unstable, I'm saying. My brain is working. Well, Rome expanded because they needed more land and more soldiers and more wealth to keep going. And eventually, they had to just leave England. The people in Great Britain did not care. Eventually, Rome had to give up all of Europe and all of the Middle East, and certainly all of the best land, until they made a treaty. I'm tired of being unstable. Knock it off, YouTube. I guess I have to hold the phone up high. I'm using it for internet. But okay. Come on, tablet. Keep your connection. Evil machines. Okay, so I guess the phone is not connected. The tablet is. So, the Pope made a treaty with the secular government of Italy and gave up his lands but kept the heart of Rome. You know, St. Peter's and the Pope's residence and all that. Evil computers. You know, the computer will make you wait forever before it does something, but then when it wants something, it won't wait for you. I've been watching X-1 and Dimension X. I shouldn't say watching. They're radio shows that you can find on YouTube. The old science fiction radio shows, some of them by very famous science fiction authors. L. Sprague de Camp, Isaac Asimov, Robert Heinlein, um, Theodore Sturgeon, and of course Philip K. Dick. Now, so invincible and unstoppable until it fell apart from within. There wasn't enough food. That's why they went to North Africa. Libya used to provide grain to Rome. It's mostly desert now. And of course, Egypt had lots of farmland because of the Nile River. But it was mostly mismanagement in the Roman government that made the empire fall apart. The reason the Roman legions had to leave England was because they had a civil war going on back in Italy. So I think this country will stand as long as people have enough to eat. But I'm worried that misguided policies are killing our farms and ranches. They even put an Amish farmer out of business. It's been, I think, 10 years since there was one case of listeria from his dairy products. They pretend that that never happens with their conventional. That's not true. The conventional foods often get Yes, Smith says all these. Oh, come on. Unstable, equally having bad connections. Yeah. And I'm alone and not podcasting or video casting. I often cuss a blue streak at the computer, which of course doesn't seem to care, but it makes me feel better. Oh, Lord. Well, this connection's holding up fairly well. Weekend, several speeches, mean tweets. Well, no more mean tweets, just clips of Trump, clips of Biden, clips of all the others. I cannot watch certain people, can't even listen to them. The White House press conferences, I just can't watch. I can't listen. The various mayors who are all not in my backyard. It's okay to burden Arizona and Texas with tens of thousands of migrants, straining their systems, their medical care, their food banks, their homeless shelters. But you send a few dozen to Chicago, and oh my God, we need the National Guard. How dare they send these people to us? Well, you're a sanctuary city. You welcome them. Oh, at Sequentia read Ted Sturgeon's More Than Human. It was a great book and it would have won awards, but it had previously been published as a series of stories in magazines. It was a great book. Oh, at Sequentia says when computers start caring, that's when we should start being afraid. Yeah, that's what some of the radio shows on X-1 and Dimension X are about robots that take over or want to take over the world. I mention both because Dimension X came first, and after it was canceled, X-1 started up and actually used some of the same stories as Dimension X. Redid them, new actors, new script. One of my favorites, and I can't remember the author's name, is just called Knock. Put it in chat. Knock. It starts out, the last man on earth sat alone in his room, and there was a knock on the door. It's a really good story. Kind of cheesy at the end, but you knew it was going there. You got to find that. It's on YouTube for free. Oh, wow. It's just an awesome day today. I'm really anxious to get there to do gardening, but I know it's going to be too hot again. Mostly I want to go around and pick up the trash that ends up in my yard every time we have a good wind. And some of it's mine, but most of it blew in on the wind. I'm on a kind of a low spot and my entire yard is fenced, so things collect here. Ah, wow. What a day. It's gotten to where I run YouTube all night, or at least for an hour, so I can fall asleep. I hate the silence. Frederick Brown? Maybe. Witta. Let's see. Let's see if I can get away with a Google search. Yeah, the last man on earth sat alone in a room. There was a knock on the door. Yeah, it's Frederick Brown. Let's see. I think that the wealthy, entitled elites are panicking because people are not putting up with their plan. There are demonstrations all over the world. Not so much in China ever since Tiananmen Square, but here and there, even in China. And by the way, Taiwan is a former Japanese colony. Most of the people are either Japanese or Pacific Islander. Fewer than 1% of the population of Taiwan are ethnic Chinese. And there is no one Chinese, by the way. Now, we probably can't tell the difference, but the Chinese can, at least between Northern Chinese, who are the elites, and Southern Chinese, who are the underdogs. I put my cigarette lighter down somewhere. No clue where, so I'll have to dig up the spare. Oh, it's just hiding. Got it. Okay. The Northern Chinese are more likely to be part Mongol, Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan and all those who took over China and became the emperors. Um, It's kind of like we can tell whether an American is East Coast or the Deep South or closer to Canada, like Wisconsin, where they say oot instead of out. And of course, they aren't saying oot, they're saying o oot, pronouncing both vowels, O and U. The Chinese can tell what region you're native to by how you speak and what you look like. Their divisions are more ethnic, ours, not so much. People in the US can move and live where they want. Not so in China. And as horrible as Putin is, the people of Russia have a lot of freedom, a lot of liberty. Oh, the worst thing you can be in China is a Uyghur. You see, they're Muslims, and the CCP says all religion is evil and unlawful. In the United States, apparently, the Southerners are looked down on unless they're politicians. And even some politicians are looked down on because they speak with a Southern drawl. If you pay attention, though, you can hear that people in Alabama don't have the same accent as people in Florida or Louisiana or Texas. I can't tell the difference between Georgia and Alabama by the accent, but I'll bet Southerners can. They're more familiar with the accents and the differences. But we are not, in America, we are not divided by tribes unless we're Native Americans or in Canada, First Nations. And even then, uh, I can't speak for Canada, but in the United States, many Native Americans are at least half Caucasian. We don't force people to marry within their own ethnic group. And that's a good thing. We're all human, and that's the race that matters. You fall in love with someone, you don't care. Look at the royal heirs, Diana's sons, married to commoners. Yeah, they're wealthy, famous commoners, but they're commoners and they aren't even English, they're American. Fine, fine with me. Go ahead. The Windsors were getting so inbred, they had to do something. Princess Diana actually had a better claim to the throne than Queen Elizabeth. Descended from the Scottish Stuarts like King James and King Charles back in the 1600s. Of course, Charles the First was, I think he was beheaded, either that or hanged. I think beheaded. So they put Mary on the throne because James the Second was, I think, came after the Charleses. He was a Catholic and they wanted a Protestant. So they put Mary on the throne because she was a Stuart and married her to William of Orange, basically a Danish man. The royals of England are basically ethnic Germans. And because royals only marry nobility and nobles only marry nobility, uh, they're inbred. That's bad. You marry your cousin, you keep marrying your cousins for 1,000 years, look what you end up with. If you look at the DNA of various ethnic groups, you can find some differences, but they're slight. Skin color, hair color, eye color, texture. I have freckles. I guess that's the Scots and Irish in my background. But I finally got my DNA tested, and yeah, I'm a Busby. Dad was my father, but Mom, that Georgia, was the result of an affair she had with a friend of the family. And that belief, oh, and she loved out. Oh, yeah, John Smith. English really loved to marry French princesses, and the French really loved to marry the eventually England gave up, even though Brittany on the west coast of France was originally British. They had to give it up. France owns it. And of course, all the Western Europeans loved to marry Russians. But something happened after the Protestant Revolution when they killed the king and they started bringing in all these Germans. Oh, you evil machine. You, all right, evil machine. 63. Yeah, well, those Protestants made Christmas a couple centuries for Christmas to come back as a popular holiday. My son never really got into it. Grr, come on. Waving the tablet around to get a better connection. All day, we just, when it seems right, or when we can. Evil computer. Um, thing is, connection held up, sort of. Um, and the wealthy, entitled elite of the United States do the same thing. They marry each other. They they make sure that their children meet their friends' children of equal social status and equal wealth. They're going to find that they're getting as inbred as some of the Habsburg monarchs. Like, I forget which one it was now, but the one king of Spain had a hair lip. His upper lip didn't quite come together, so he lisped. And that's why the Castilians still lisp. They pronounce the S as a TH. Castilian. Because the king lisped and they didn't want him to feel that they were teasing him about it, so they all started lisping. He was a Habsburg, the Austrian branch of royalty, who just kept marrying their cousins because they wouldn't marry a commoner and improve their DNA to something more healthy. Yeah, we love to dehumanize now. Come on. Oh, okay, I'm back. Apparently, you can't say that. It's just ladies who socialize and sometimes ride in a parade. But in this, maybe not. Well, as I said earlier, who burned down buildings, who looted shops, and who attacked strangers on the street, who attacked law enforcement? I don't dare eat a cracker while I'm on live. I want to. Lord. I guess the powers that be are being especially vigilant in light of recent news. They're evil. And yet I've said even less than MSNBC and CNN today. I don't expect the Republicans to save us, but they might improve things a little. If I were president, I would charge the Congress with going over all the stuff they've already passed and repealing anything that's counterproductive or useless or outdated. Get rid of it. And abolish a few departments and bureaus and such, like the Department of Education. Why should some bureaucrat in DC, what do they know about my child and my life? It used to be that the school was supported by the whole community, and if the parents did not like what the teacher was doing, the teacher got fired. Not anymore. Now teachers tell parents it's none of your business. You are not an educator. So people all over the country are running for school board. It's getting warm in here. And winning. And trying to make schools teach, reading, writing, and arithmetic. I gotta grab a gadget. Tori, you make me walk around you, don't you? It's time to switch the ceiling fan from low to high. I'm supposed to wait till it stops completely before starting it up again. There's fanatics who insist that if you don't wear a mask, you're committing murder. I'm sorry, but masks don't really work. They help. There's more to it than that. The best thing you can do to stop an epidemic is wash your hands frequently. One person to infringe upon real tyranny is when one person can infringe upon the rights of another. Well, usually in this time and place, it's one person infringing upon the rights of millions. It's horrible. Okay, I'm gonna have to recycle some coffee, so don't go away. I'll be back. Let me type BRB in the chat. I always forget to do that. I gotta go potty. Dum de dum, dum de dum de dum. Oh, dum de dum de dum. I'm back, I think. I'm down to my last pack of fancy cigarettes from England. Oh, Oh, John Smith has a tea break. Well, I have coffee and tea and water and Alka-Seltzer. Sinus headache. Oh, what the heck. I'm smoking too much as usual. So let's light another one. Hi, Tora. Yeah, to go OUT until I'm done here. Mm-hmm. I think I'll have ham and cheese and Ritz crackers for breakfast. Maybe some sweet pickles with them. Maybe dill pickles, probably sweet gherkins. Gherkin apparently is a type of cucumber that's very small and suitable for pickling. Anyway, yeah, your inner compass. I've observed that some people don't seem to have an inner compass. They seem to just be unhinged, off the leash, so to speak. But most of us do. Even when we do something that isn't right, we know that it's wrong and we shouldn't. Some people don't seem to have that insight. Criminy. Come on. Come on, evil machine. Unstable again. By the time I get unstable typed, it's stable again. Machines are evil. Well, once again, the former president. But I worry more. Evil machine. But I worry more about what's going on now and what I'm seeing on CNN and MSNBC, or some call it NBS. I gotta get a haircut. This is ridiculous. And it bugs me. Yeah, apparently we're supposed to be little robots. You wind us up and we do what we're told. It's all about control. Remember Get Smart, the 60s TV series with Don Adams and Barbara? Forgot her last name. Well, anyway, it was always chaos versus control. And usually had a German accent. Well, anyway, you evil computer, quit going unstable. You're full of it. You've got 5 bars. I should have a stable connection. It's supposed to be high speed 4G. My new phone is 5G capable, but I've been told that it uses up your data twice as fast. So I'll stay with 4G. Jesus Louises. Come on. Come on. Yeah, perhaps it's the cloudy sky that's messing me up. Verizon hasn't upgraded our connections in decades, or at least one decade. But I think I'd better sign off while you can still hear me. So let's see. They tell me that when it replays, somehow those little gaps of silence disappear. So let's see. Thank you all for listening and have a great day, week, month, and